Hi folks, this is Rose, and we are going to make a simple pair of earrings. Well, maybe not quite so simple. A little bit of work to do them, but I think they'll be fun. Pair of earrings using our March Bargain Bead Box Art Deco Luxe. Now we're going to use the chevrons and some of the, and these pretty little drops here. And let's turn down. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, what we have here is some, I'm not sure if this is 16 or 18 gauge wire. Doesn't matter. It doesn't, because it's not going to hold any beads. It's just going to be a decorative bottom loop. So what we are going to do is, these are head pins right now. They're not going to stay that way. I'm going to cut the heads right off of them and make them into a simple piece of wire 3 inches long. Just like well, they want to go 2 by 2, so that's fine. There we go. There's 2. And there's the other 2. So we've got 2 for each of our earrings. We've got one of these little beautiful little drops for them. One black one. Oh, I needed another piece. I forgot that we were going to make a little piece here. So I'll need to get a couple more of the, there's our ear wires, one for each. Then we have our chevrons, 6 for each earring. And 6 of the little ball spacers for each, nope, 5 I think of the ball spacers for each, no, it's 6, because there's 2 stuck in there. So there's our ball spacers. Then we have a couple of medium jump rings for each, and a big, slightly bigger one. Come here, ball spacer. And then we also have what I call an 8 wire. Now these are sort of cool. You can see they are like a double jump ring with the openings right there where they come together there, and right in here. And it's got just a bend to bring it up. So that's for each. So here we have this items for each one. Like I said, I forgot that we need one for this, so we're going to probably need to get another one of these out. But since I'm going to make the earrings separately, we'll just get those out later. So we will go a little more down on the piece here. And up and over and around and down, and bring her around here and straighten her out some. Then, since I'm going to let this be the top, and we're going to jump ring the top portion, I can just wrap this around. Oops. On you. There we go. And we're sew it sideways here. See how it dipped to the side? So I'll just take that and straighten her up. Now we'll put those beads back in place. And now I'm going to have to decide if this is going to be long enough, or do we want to add a few more beads. Because this is going to dangle down between the beads, and it's going to be up here. And we're going to have some wire loops below it. So let's make our second one here. Up and over and around and down, and pull it this way as we straighten her up. There we go. Now we'll do our loops here, or wraps I should say, on our loop. So now we'll put these beads on. So this is going to be the other side. It's going to sit like so. And then this is going to go down in the middle here. You know, I put this big rondelle here, but I'm wondering if I would rather have one of the littler beads instead of this bigger one. I'm afraid that's going to bump. So let's get one of the smaller beads out and we'll see how that works. Got a couple of, actually I got 4 of these out because it's going to sit in here with this little figure 8 ring. These are going to come together up here and be hooked together, and then this is going to hang from here like so. And I think we will use 2 of the little ones rather than the rondelles. We'll put those up. And I might want at least 1 more of the chevrons here. But let's get this little guy on his, and I'm going to want to probably have a little spacer here as well, so we'll get this started. This time we do have to put on something because we're going to put the, well, unless we do that piece last, but okay, there's our little drop. So then we'll hold this and wrap this up. There we go. Now I can see that my loop went crooked, and so we want to straighten that out. There we go. And then we'll put these on. But I do need to get a couple of little spacers. Be right back. A couple of spacers, so we're going to put one in each of these. Come on, you, where's your hole? There we go. This will go over here. And then this is going to wrap up and hook onto that piece right there. And so we will get it wrapped. Excuse me. Actually, I think I'll wrap it last. I'm debating putting on some more here because this is going to drop down here. And even though I'm going to put some looping wire here, I'm thinking I don't want quite that much. So we will put, I usually like an uneven amount of chevrons, but we'll see if how big that ends up being. Well, not chevrons, any beads, but we'll see how long that ends up being. If it's going to be pretty long, I don't want it to be too horribly long, but at the same time, I don't want it to be too short either. So let's get some of our more chevrons out. And I'll get 4 out just in case I decide to, well, 4 would be 1 more each wire. So let's see what we look like. So that's probably about all we want to do as far as our wire is concerned, because it's going to take up some of our space here. Strange, this one looks longer than that one. I would have swore all of my wires were the same length. Isn't that interesting? So this guy in here. I think if I put too much on, I'm not going to be able to wrap it. So I think we'll just leave it like that. Put 2 more balls overhead, bowl spacers over here, and the other 2 chevrons. So now what we need to do is we're going to need to make our wire loops here, and we'll have to put it all together then. So let's gotta remember which way I need my loops to go to hook on. I think these need to go like this, and this one needs to go the opposite way, if I remember right. So let's get these wrapped up. And I suppose if I end up being wrong about which way they wrap, I can always twist them the other direction, but it's better to get them right the first time. So let's get this wrapped up and over and around and down, and then we'll pull her out. Well, she should have gone this way just a hair's breadth. Okay, and then wrap this up. Okay, there's one. Now we got to do the other one. Okay. All right, you're looking a little wonky. Straighten my loop up there. Okay. So there's those two. Okay, this I think needs to go like this. So now, like I say, if you need to, you can always twist your rings around the opposite direction by taking hold of both of them and just giving them a twist if you mess something up. I won't say it's impossible that I could have messed something up because I haven't made this style of earring for a while, so we will make sure I got it all right. Okay. So now that's going to hook in there, and then all of them are going to hook together. So, like, this will open here. And we'll slide this guy on, close it back up, and then all three of them are going to be hooked together. No, that's not quite right. It's going to be one, two, three, and then the ear wire will hang in here. Okay, let's see if I got that right. I think I do. It's going to sit like so. You guys lay down. You'll come down in here and hang down right like that. Okay, there we go. Now I need to make the bars that go along the bottom. And you can either use, I'm going to make two bars that come, one comes right below this and then another one that drops below that. Now you could also do a curly bar if you wanted to. It's real easy with your step melt bell baking pliers to do a curly ball. But let's see, where's my end here? I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of wire to make the top loop, and then I'll cut them a slightly larger to make the bottom loop. So I think this is about the right length. So let's make sure I've got these about the right size, the same size. Oop, come on you. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So all we need to do with these, let's see how long these are. I think they're probably about 2 to 3 inches. A little over 3. So we're going to take this and we'll take our round wire bell. I want this about so. So now we need to take our bell making pliers and make loops on the end of these. I have too many tools sitting here. So come on you. Okay. Now, depending on how wide you make this, how wide you leave your bottom piece is how wide your earring is going to be. And I sort of like that, so I think we'll leave it just like that. So then, this one we need to do the same thing to, and I'm going to do it now before we put our other earring together because we want our loop to be consistent with each other. Oh boy, that's not right. Okay, now we'll make this loop. On the other side. And now we're going to compare them because this one is obviously not opened as wide as that one is, so we'll pull it open some, bring them together and see how close they are. Oh my, they're pretty darn close. So now we need to make our second one because we're going to have 2 loops hanging down here. This top one here, and then another one that's going to be just a little lower. And then after you do that, we'll hook these all together, and if you want, you could add a little dangle onto the lower one. So let's get some more wire out. This was 3 inches if I recall. And so we want probably 3.5 to 4 inches. I'm thinking maybe I'll just make it 3 3/4 just to put it right in the middle of the 2. Come on, little kink, get out of the wire right there. So, get our wire out. We're going to cut it at 3 3/4. Then we'll get a second piece out and fix it. So now we'll just cut it at the same length as its other one was. Put our wire aside. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to make another loop, but I'm going to put it on the bottom one this time. Just bring her around till she's pretty even here. Do the same with our other. Then we'll turn our ends. And open them up to the degree we need them to be opened. Like so. So now we do the same to the other. I hate that when that does that to me. Oh, come on. Why are you slipping off like that? There we go. I have to straighten it up too because I've got it crooked. There you gotta compare, you guys. I think they're close enough. So they'll sit on top of each other like so. And then hook here. Now here's an option. You can hammer these if you want to give it a little more character, which I think I'm going to do. It's not necessary, but I think I'm going to. Let's push these up a little so they're not in the way. And we'll get our steel block and our chasing hammer out, and we will hammer these a little bit. Now you do got to remember that they are going to go out of shape a little bit as you hammer them. And that's fine. You can pull them back into shape. But of course you're going to want to pull both of the small and both of the large back into shape at the same time so you can compare and make sure they're still staying where you want them. So and I could texture these also right now if I wanted to by, you know, doing the little So there's the smaller one, first smaller one. And let's get the smaller one of the other one too and get it done at the same time. As you can see, it's definitely spread out quite a bit. I'm going to have to get it, actually maybe we'll take this one and let this one get it back into shape by comparing it to that one before we hammer that one, and that way we'll know how much we need to move it. See, it needs to come in just a little bit more. Let's see how it's looking. Still a little wider than we want it to be, so we'll push it in some more. And we can get our wire mandrel out to do that if we want to, because that certainly helps. So let's see how we're doing here. Still a little different than what it was, but it's not bad. Also, you'll notice these opened a little bit, so we'll have to get in and close those back up. And that is going to be a little difficult because now it's work hardened, so it doesn't want to close anymore. There we go. So now let's see how close we are after I did that. They're competing with who wants to be on top. Okay. I think that'll do. Close enough. So we'll put this aside. Now we're going to do the smaller one on the other one, and then we will get it back into the shape of this one. And then we'll do the larger ones. Now in the past when I've done these, I haven't bothered to flatten and texture this style of earring, but I think I'm going to like it flattened and textured, so we will just, first I'm going to get those loops turned back into place. That one went a little easier than the other one. Okay, now we're going to get our, and see how much out of shape this one went. Whoa, that one didn't go out of shape hardly at all, so that's good. So over there with you. Now we'll take our bigger one and do the exact same thing as we have done with the smaller one. Okay, get our loop turned back in here. I noticed this one's a little off, but this one actually is hardly moved at all. That's good. Now we need to compare with the original that isn't been hammered. Come on, you, get back down there and over and around. And it looks like it's a bit bigger because of the hammering, but it's not too bad as far as shape is concerned. Let's see how it compares with its little buddy here. Now see, their loops are off quite a bit now. They're not sitting over the top of each other anymore. When I put this one up, this one, when we swing this one up, see how much off it is. So we need to make sure that we get these closer in to each other. So let's see now if I got that. Still are off a bit, so we still need to bring this out just a hair's breadth more. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we need to do our second one of our larger ones here. Now, as I say, you don't have to hammer these if you don't want to. In fact, the 3 or 4 times I've made this style of earrings, this is the first time I actually have hammered these down. I just like the looks of the hammered and textured wire. I think it really looks cool. So I decided to try it with these. Okay, I think we're done with our hammering and texturing. Now we just got to get this one back into shape again. So we'll get our bail making pliers out and get these loops back to being proper, all the way down in place. And then we will compare it to our other big one, and you can see this needs to be a lot wider. So let's just start easing it over there. We will make sure she's still pretty rounded first. There we go. And now we'll start pulling her carefully apart each side, so that they are sort of consistently pulling apart. Let's see how they look to each other now. That looks pretty good, but now let's match it to its buddy over here. This one has a bent up wire somewhat, so we need to make sure it's flat. Looks like it's pretty good, so we'll set that aside. And we're going to pull these guys in, and we're going to finish putting this earring together. So all we got to do is open up our jump rings. Put our 2 flat wires in here. I'm going to put the littlest one up in the front. Come here, you. There we go. Okay, which one is front and which one is... Okay, it's this side. Close this baby up. Now to put this side on. Now let's see how we're hanging here. Now this is a deep earring. As you can see, she's done. But she is, let's measure her. She's probably 2.5, at least 2.5 to almost 3 inches. So 3 is gonna come close to hitting your shoulder. Looks like it's 2 3/4. So there is our finished earring, unless we want to add anything more to it. Looks like I could have done with just the 3 because this didn't come down and hit that bottom like I was afraid it would. But it's like that. We could take and put another little dangle down here if we wanted to on the, hang it on the loop. I don't think it's necessary. In fact, it might end up being too long. So there is that baby. And now we'll do the other one. So let's get all these pieces down and in here that we need. And we'll cut off our tips of our of our wires here. And we'll start putting things together. Now, if you'll recall, we'll go down about so far on these and wrap them. Up and around and over and down and through. We'll wrap this baby up. Oops, that tuck went the wrong way there. I think I got it now though. So let's get our chevrons and stuff on this one. So now we need to put together this little guy. So now this one we do need to leave open a bit because we've got to put our little piece in there. So we'll slide him down a knot. Come on, I felt you go on. There we go. And we'll hold it with our pliers and wrap this baby up. Go. Now we want to put on our beads. This time we want it to go the same direction. So up and over. Now we could put on this right now, which I may just do right now, so we don't have to open it up. Not that it hurts it any to open it up, because it's just like a weird little jump ring. It's just a double one. So now we gotta, come on you, get hold of our wires. And pull them around. Cut the extra off. Tuck her in. And then straighten her up because I noticed I've got her crooked. There we go. See there? All ready. So now all we have to do is put this one together. So that is putting these two, then this one, and we can do this from the bottom here now, or we can do it from the top like we did prior to this one. So just open her up, and we'll put this one on first, and then we just have to put the ear wire in. So there's these pieces all put together. Now all we have to do is hook it to the bars at the bottom, and these are done. So let's just open this one up. We'll put it on the smaller bar first. Then the larger bar. Come on, go on the larger bar. Come on. And then we hook it to our piece down here. Come here, you. And on to this baby. Now we close up our jump ring, and we just have to do our other side. So we pick this baby up, get the last jump ring here, open it, grab this bar, come on, grab our two bars together. If we can do them together at the same time, but I'm not sure that they'll let me do that. No, they won't. So that's fine. And then we hook it on to this piece. And close her up. Now we pick her up and make sure that everything fell into place right. And I'm not sure everything did. Looks like we've got a twist up somewhere in the works here. Nope, we're good. Just needs to have a little bit of maneuvering here. No, we do have something messed up. See, this does not want to lay properly. And so I think we have a twist in our wires that I put one of these on the wrong way. Okay. Now let's see if we got it straightened that time. Oh boy. Okay, something still seems to be off, so I'm going to loosen the one up here at the top and see if I can fix it from this direction. Now that's the biggest problem when you're making earrings like this, is making sure that your jump rings all line up properly, because if they don't, you see what's happening. I've got a twist in here somewhere. So we're going to take this off. And we're going to drop them down straight like so. Come on. Now this one needs to be in the middle, so we'll drop her off. We go to this side, to this side, Now you see it's hanging straight. Of course, I don't have the middle piece in anymore, but I can fix that by simply opening up the jump ring that it's on and hooking it into the middle here, because that's the middle piece. It needs to go directly between these other two pieces. So we will get this little upper jump ring opened on this. See how I said it's a double jump ring, so we'll open up the top one. And then we will put it in the middle between these other two, like so. And now we close it back up. And that drop is hanging wrong. I should have had these twisted differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to take hold of either side here, and we're just twisting so that they're going and now the drop is hanging properly. Though I don't quite have good enough twist on it because it's not quite all the way there, but that should do it. And there it is, finished. So there's our two earrings, all done. So there we go. There's our earrings. As you can see, they are pretty long. If you don't want them that long, either make your bars and things shorter, or don't put on the second loop. They don't have to have both these loops on here. See, that would be pretty without the second one, but I like the second loop on. I think it adds a little something to it, but like I say, you don't have to have the second loop on. You could put it just with the one loop. Just see, if you just pull this back, I can show you what I mean. So, like so. Or make your sides and things shorter. There's a lot of different ways you can shorten these up if you didn't want them to be quite so long. But that's a pretty little pair of earrings using our bargain bead box for March, Art Deco Luxe. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you enjoyed making these with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.